The first time Evelyn Carter saw Noah Hayes, she didn't believe in coincidences anymore. It was a June morning in Austin, Texas, one of those humid days when the air hangs heavy with the scent of summer rain and gasoline. Evelyn was late for her first day at her new job, a non-profit that rebuilt homes after wildfires. She'd been up all night rehearsing introductions in her head. "Hi, I'm Evelyn. I'm new. I care about this cause." When she spilled her coffee in the lobby and bent down to clean it, a man crouched beside her, handing her a napkin. "Rough morning," he said. She looked up. His smile was crooked, easy, the kind that made you forget what you were worried about. "You could say that," she said. He helped her stand, their fingers brushing. "Noah," he said. "I work here too. I'm guessing you're the new project coordinator." She blinked. "How did you?" "Lucky guess," he said with a grin. That was the moment. The spark, quiet, invisible, but real. She felt it and ignored it, because she was here to rebuild her life, not start another fire. Evelyn's life before Austin had been all about control. She'd spent 5 years in corporate marketing in Chicago, climbing ladders she didn't care about. Then a wildfire tore through her parents' hometown in California, their house gone, their neighborhood ash. She quit her job 2 weeks later, packed her life into her car, and drove south. Noah was different from anyone she'd worked with. He wasn't polished. He was raw. He wore old jeans, kept a camera slung around his neck, and had dirt under his fingernails from visiting burn sites. He laughed loudly, cared deeply, and had that quiet sadness people carry when they've lost something too. Within days, they fell into rhythm, coffee breaks that stretched into conversations, long drives to field sites with country radio humming between them. Evelyn told herself it was friendship. Noah never said otherwise. But every time he leaned over her shoulder to show her a photo, or their hands brushed while sharing paperwork, the air thickened just a little more. 2 months later, they drove to a fire-scarred town outside Bastrop. Rows of blackened trees lined the horizon. The smell of ash still clung to the earth. They were helping rebuild a small elementary school. Evelyn walked through what used to be a playground, her boots crunching over broken tile. "It's strange," she said quietly, "how something can be gone, but still feel alive." Noah lifted his camera. "That's what I try to capture," he said. "Not what's destroyed, what's left." He turned the lens toward her. "Don't," she said, laughing. "Why not?" "I'm a mess." He lowered the camera but didn't look away. "You're real. That's better." For a second, neither moved. The sunlight through the smoke-stained clouds hit his face just right. Sharp jaw, tired eyes, the faint scar near his temple. She looked away first. "We should get back to work." "Yeah," he said, but his voice was softer now. Back at the truck, thunder rumbled in the distance. Texas storms were fast and wild. Blue skies 1 minute, lightning the next. They were loading tools when the downpour started. Within seconds they were drenched, laughing as they ran for shelter beneath the unfinished awning. "You okay?" Noah shouted over the rain. Evelyn pushed her soaked hair from her face. "I think we just experienced all 4 seasons in 10 minutes. He laughed, the sound echoing off the metal frame of the building. "Welcome to Texas." The storm howled around them. Water pooled at their feet. She turned toward him, smiling, and then stopped. He was looking at her again, that same way he had in the playground, like the storm didn't exist. For a heartbeat, the world went quiet. She could feel her pulse in her throat, the heat rising between them despite the rain. "This is a bad idea," she said softly. "Probably," he said. Neither moved. Then, as thunder cracked across the sky, he reached up, slow, hesitant, and brushed his thumb across her cheek, wiping away a raindrop. She didn't stop him. For a second, everything else, the rain, the ruins, the reasons, disappeared. The world was just heat and heartbeats and the dizzying knowledge that something irreversible had begun. After that day, they didn't talk about what happened. But it lived in every silence between them. Evelyn tried to bury it in work, spreadsheets, budgets, endless meetings. She told herself she'd come here to rebuild, not to fall apart. Noah seemed fine. He still laughed, still teased her, still drove her to project sites. But sometimes she'd catch him watching her, and the air would tighten again. One evening, they were alone in the office finishing reports. The sunset poured gold through the blinds. Noah leaned back in his chair. You ever think about what you want next? Evelyn looked up. What do you mean? In life. After all this. She hesitated. I don't know. I used to think it was about success. Now I think it's about peace. He nodded slowly. Yeah, peace sounds nice. When she looked at him, his expression had changed, serious, almost fragile. You? She asked. I want to stop running, he said. From what? He hesitated. From the feeling that I can't save anyone. Evelyn leaned forward. You help rebuild homes, Noah. You give people back their lives. Not always, he said quietly. Last year, I was documenting a fire in Colorado. A volunteer didn't make it out. I was supposed to be with him. Her breath caught. I'm sorry. He shook his head. I've never told anyone that. She stood, crossed the small distance between them, and touched his shoulder. You don't have to carry that alone. He looked up, eyes bright in the fading light. Maybe I don't. He stood, facing her. Evelyn. But before he could finish, the lights flickered, the storm outside cutting the power. They both laughed nervously. Of course, she said. He reached for a flashlight. The small beam lit the space between them, soft and warm. And suddenly, she was close enough to feel his breath. I can't keep pretending, he said quietly. Neither can I. This time, when he leaned in, she didn't stop him. The kiss was gentle at first, tentative, almost afraid, then deeper, anchored by everything they hadn't said. When they finally pulled apart, she rested her forehead against his. This is going to complicate everything. He smiled faintly. Then it's worth it. The weeks that followed blurred into something beautiful and fragile. They kept their secret quiet, careful. Late-night phone calls. Quiet walks by the river. The world outside might have been burning, but inside, they found calm. Still, Evelyn knew it couldn't last. One afternoon, their director announced a new initiative, a wildfire recovery partnership in California. They needed a field lead. Noah was the obvious choice. When she heard his name, her stomach dropped. That night, they met by the lake outside town. The sky glowed orange with sunset. So, she said, skipping a stone. California. He nodded. Just for 6 months. You'll go, she said. You should. He looked at her, jaw tense. You really want me to?